working mom versus stay-at-home mom. In this video, I'm going to talk about my decision to continue to work post-baby, but I also, a big point of this video is I'd love to hear from all of you to where you're at in your decision, how you made the decision, how it's evolved over time. So I'm about a year into motherhood. I have a company, Prep-Dish. It's a meal planning website, and I kind of knew going into it that I would continue to work. I'm very passionate about my business, and I do have a team, so I can hand things off and delegate, but work is really something that I've always enjoyed. So, but I also went into it knowing that I've had friends that the second baby came along, they were really happy to stay at home and figured out a way to drastically cut their work hours so they could make that happen. I've fallen somewhere in the middle. I don't work full-time, and I do work from home, which allows me some space to see him from time to time. But I also am still really passionate about my work. I'm sitting here right now doing these videos. So it's not something where I don't know that I would have been, I don't know. It's a tricky decision to make until you're in it. And that's part of the conversation I want to have here as well is I've heard from some moms that, you know, there's certain stages that are different. Everyone thinks when your children are babies that that's when they really need you, and they do. But I've also heard that, you know, sometimes in the teenage years, they need you to be around and just your presence to be there so they can, you know, conversations might come up that wouldn't come up if you weren't present and there. And I'm just curious how other moms are navigating this. Like how did you make the decision to either be a stay-at-home mom or be a working mom? Or are you kind of like me where you're kind of in the middle there where you're doing a little bit of both? I think there's a lot of that as well. I know on the Prep-Dish team, all of the ladies there are moms and are kind of somewhere in the middle ground of, you know, they do this remote work for Prep-Dish, but they're also helping out a lot at home as well. So I'm always kind of fascinated to learn more about how people decide to make that decision. Is it financial? Is it you know, kind of a passion or wanting to maintain kind of your own thing and you really get joy out of the work? Or is it kind of babies are great, but I also, you know, from time to time need some adult conversations. Sometimes it's a piece of that. So let me know in the comments below, where are you at on all this? Are you a mom? Do you stay at home? Do you stay home part-time, full-time? Are you working? Are you working from home, or do you go into an office and work? Are you traveling for work? So I have had some work travel that's come up in the first year, and I've done that. And I don't regret that I've done it. I feel like it's been really important for my work, but there are moments when I'm in it that I'm second guessing myself and if it's the right decision, but in the end, I feel like it has been. So again, kind of an interesting topic for me, especially as, you know, I think it's also something that it's not a decision that's made once. It's something that kind of evolves over time as your, you know, children grow. And so I'm just curious to hear from all of you on how you've made that decision. And if you have any tips for me, anything I should be thinking about. Oh, and then the other piece I wanted to touch on, and this is the piece that for me, I think has been the most important, is whether I'm working or I'm mom, I really try and keep the two separate. So that for me has been key. So if I'm with him, I'm with him. I don't have my phone. I sometimes have my phone if I have to take a picture of him, but other than that, or if we're FaceTiming grandma. So the only exception is if we FaceTime grandma, then we get to have the phone in the room, but otherwise, no phone in the room when I'm with the baby, no computer. I don't want him to always, I don't want to be working when I'm with him. I want to be with him. And then when I'm working, he's with someone else, and so he's not, or he's taking a nap. So I try and make sure that when I'm working, I'm focused on work, and that's really helped me navigate it and feel like when I'm doing my work, I'm doing a good job with that, and when I'm with him, I'm doing a good job of being present with him and giving him my attention. So to me, it's less about how much do I work or how much am I with him. It's more, as long as I'm working and I'm just working, and as long as I'm with him, I'm just with him. And I realize when you're working, you're still, you know, there's always an exception, right? Like there can always be, at the end of the day, you know, that the mom thing always comes first. But I think you understand what I'm saying, and just that I try and be as focused and present with my work as is possible. So really kind of having that separation for me has been the most important part, and it's been less about, well, am I working 20 hours or am I working 30 hours or 10 hours? You know, it's less about how many hours I'm working, but more about, am I able to stay present and focused? I'm curious if you guys have experienced kind of the same thing, and how you've navigated that as well. And I'm also still at kind of the stage where if I go into the office, he doesn't realize I'm in the room next door. So I know that I still, so if you have any tips on that phase is coming to where I can't just leave the room and he kind of forgets that I was, you know, there. So still a lot of evolving to come on my end. So any of you seasoned moms out there, would love to hear from you. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. It's helpful for me to sort of talk about it, and would love to get input from you. So thank you for being here and for listening and for sharing.